Good morning, this is Mona and this is my morning view. Today, this spring edition of 2025, Feisty Friday. Not only is it Feisty Friday, but it is Construction Edition. Construction Edition. Alright. Whew, I gotta get my eyes focused right now. Feisty Friday. Weather. It's kind of warm. Not sure if it's going to rain. It's very overcast. Kind of warm. April 4th. April 4th. So, got that date out of the way. Next housekeeping. Not right this minute, but after this live is over. Go over to my YouTube channel, Mona E. Harrison. You'll see the white hair. It won't be slicked back like this. Today's Orange Day, so I'm wearing plenty of orange today for school. Alright, so go over to Mona E. Harrison. You'll see my white hair. You'll know you're in the right spot. Subscribe, like, comment, hit notifications, get all the bells and whistles. Because I'm only allowed 3 minutes live over there. So in the meantime, I am doing my lives here still and then transferring them over to YouTube. And once they are transferred over to YouTube, you can watch them fully on YouTube on fast speed, especially if you've seen it here. But it takes about a day because I do these in the morning. It gets transferred in the evening or at night. All right, sometimes the next day. Very rarely, usually it's that night. Feisty Friday. Okay, I got something on my mind. Haha, it's pretty feisty. I have tried to talk about narcissism for weeks. And every time I start, I give a hint or a little tidbit of it, and then the Lord directs me to a whole nother view, a whole nother base point of what he wants talked about that day. How do I know? Because I wanted to talk about narcissism. But that's not where it went. All right. So, narcissism. First of all, I have been asked this before, but not since I've been doing these, because of just the way I talk. And somebody asked me if I thought I was a prophet. And let me tell you right now, I am not a prophet. And they're like, oh, you hear from God? We all hear from God. We hear from him different ways. And sometimes we listen. Sometimes we're not tuned in quite clearly. And sometimes we reject what is being said by him. And sometimes we don't understand. Because it gets lost in translation, and not because God wasn't speaking clearly, because we were not hearing clearly. So I want to put that out first, that we all hear from God. Some people hear him in nature. He speaks to people in nature. I know several people that he speaks to in nature while they're taking walks. The whole earth is there to declare his glory. And he can speak through all of it. Balaam's case, he spoke through his ass. Let me clarify that. He spoke through his donkey. So, therefore, it's Feisty Friday. I get to offend if I want to. Jesus offended people. Eat my flesh, drink my body, or have no part of me. A lot of people walked away. It's okay. I'm okay with it. If Jesus was okay with it, I need to be okay with it too. I don't have to have all that, kudos. And you know why I ask for likes and subscriptions and notifications and comments? It helps the algorithm. I'm fine without them. But it helps the algorithm. And with the algorithm, the message gets out to more people. It's not about me, it's about the message. That's the one thing people need to learn, that it's not about them, it's about the message. Because a lot of people think it's about them. That's kind of narcissistic. We all love ourselves. In some capacity. We all do. We take care of ourselves. We try to live. Though, even those people that don't. Even those people that don't want to live. Even those people that look down on themselves and say, I'm a miserable individual. Blah, blah, blah. They still all are focused on themselves. It's all about them. Because if it wasn't about them, they would think of other people that love them. But they're not focused on that. They're focused on self. And I'm by no way degrading those people that have gone on because of depression. I'm not. But when you really get down to the bones of it, they're thinking about themselves. How they feel. How circumstances around them are disturbing to them. All of that. It's getting noticeably worse in the last few years. Not just noticeably by me, but noticeably by surveys, by observation of like teachers, observations on the road. More and more people are disregarding the rules of the road to put themselves first. If you don't believe me, take a drive. Because I don't think it's just a New Jersey thing. I think it's a overall thing. And the surveys about, children and their disrespect to adults, it's not just a New Jersey thing. It's an overall thing. Kids know they're not going to get really harshly disciplined, so they don't care. Had a second grader the other day say to an aide that, he didn't say to an aide, the aide overheard him tell another student, it's okay, we're not going to get punished. Going to the principal's office is not punishment. It is not. So everybody's on this mindset of I'm not going to get punished because I'm special. And that's why they break the rules of the road. That's what they do whatever they want to do. Because they're not going to get punished. We have nurtured our children to think that they are special. We call that it. Oh, you're special, sweetheart. You're special, but you're special to me because you're my child or you're my grandchild. But guess what? You are not special to the rest of the world. You're special to Jesus because you're His. I said I couldn't exercise because the construction's going on, and I just saw a lady running. A lady that normally takes walks in the neighborhood. I guess I don't have an excuse. All right. So when I talk about narcissism, I'm talking about those people that think about themselves, not necessarily the clinical narcissism, but this whole focus on self-gratification. I'll do it because it feels good. I don't care what it does to my body. I don't care what it does to my psychological well-being in the long run, because right now it feels good. So I'm going to do it. Addictions would fall under that category. All types of addictions. You've got anywhere from physical fitness, where you have some physical fitness, the gym is their church, and their body is their God. Those people that, exercise excessively, and I'm not talking about athletes. I'm not talking about those people that, they're gearing up for a marathon, or they're working for the Olympics, or any of that. Any of that scenario. I think the lady at the block just left for work because her dog was yelping like she was crying, "Don't leave, don't leave." Lots of noises today. So you can have anybody from, the fitness addiction, to addiction for sex, to the addiction for drugs and alcohol, and any number. You could have an addiction to your children. There's all sorts of addictions. You can have an addiction to your spouse. But addictions are about gratifying either your flesh, your body, or gratifying the chemical reactions that are taking place in your brain, thereby emitting emotion and physical, like euphoria. It's still self-gratification. Whether it's your body or your soul, your physical being, or your mind, will, and emotions being. The altered mind. A mind where you don't think for yourself. Because you've opened that space up. You've opened windows and portals for spirits to talk to you with some of those addictions. Some of the addictions can lead you down a road you never thought you would be on. For example, you can look up Kensington, place in Philadelphia. How many of them wanted to be there as little children? They grow up to say, I want to be a drug addict, where I can be seen on the live cam in Kensington, passed out and looking like a zombie and having an overdose. I doubt any little child felt like that's what they wanted to do when they grew up. So where did it go wrong? Where did it turn? Did it start with the parent saying, "Oh, sweetheart, you're special," and then stand up for them even when they do wrong? I'm not going to get in trouble. Ha ha ha, isn't that funny? They sound like a drunken sailor. Ah. It's not cute watching little kids cuss. It's not. Some people think it's funny. See, the art of parenting has kind of drifted away. We're to guide our children in the way they should go. That doesn't mean live vicariously through them for the things that you didn't get to do. That's not what that means. It's not okay. I still got the vision of people living vicariously through their children. Everything from beauty pageants to sports to academics. None of those things are bad. None of those things are bad. But when you push. There was a rule when I was growing up that my mom was like, if you joined something at the beginning of the school year, you were going to finish it. If you joined a sport, you were going to finish it because you gave an obligation to do that. So you fulfilled your obligation, but by no means did you have to join it the next year. If you saw that it was not for you, you didn't like it, it wasn't your vibe, you didn't have to do it. You could choose something else. Choose something else that you might like. That happened with band. My elementary school didn't have a band. My intermediate school didn't have a band until 8th grade. By then, I knew nothing about music. I wanted to play saxophone, but there wasn't enough saxophones to go around, so I had to play clarinet. It's a good thing because clarinet doesn't take half as much air as a saxophone. It like stretches out this, and I got enough problems here. Can you imagine if I played saxophone what my neck would look like? So I played clarinet, but it was a time when I used to get a lot of bloody noses. And the pressure would cause me to get a bloody nose. So I had to stop playing clarinet and go over to percussion. Because percussion, I didn't have to blow anything. But there wasn't enough drums to go around either. So we had to share. And I never really learned the rhythm. I don't even know if I could. If any of you have watched Seinfeld and saw Ellen on Seinfeld dance, that's kind of how I am with rhythm. You should train your children up in the direction that they would go. If there's something more important than sports, more important than academics, more important is teaching your children to respect other people, to not be so self-centered, to not be selfish, to share, to think about somebody else when you go to do something. I was remembering about a couple weeks ago about how when I was like a young adult, like I was in college, there was this thing where people were getting remote garages, remote doors, and they would have, you push the button and the door would go up. And as people were getting these, we found out that if you go through the neighborhood, that sometimes the frequencies were the same. So you could open up several garage doors with one remote. They didn't have the frequencies that they have today available for that, I suppose. I'm not going to say that they didn't. So the thing of it is I was sitting there thinking, I never personally did that, but I knew people that did. And y'all think it's funny. Oh, look at this. We have the ability to open up people's garages. And then they'll come home and the garage will be open. They'll be like, oh, why is my garage open? Nobody went into the garage. At least nobody that I knew. They just thought it was funny. Let's open up people's garages. But how many of us really thought for a moment that it could cause some kind of detriment? That maybe a bad guy would come into that open garage before they came home. That maybe they had a pet that was having issues in the house while they were gone. So they put it in the garage in order to keep it from either tearing up the house or going potty in the house right now while it's being potty trained, or whatever the case may be. They didn't have the crates back then. You didn't put a dog in a crate back then. That was unheard of. So how many of them may have had a dog, and you open up the garage door, the dog leaves the garage and gets ran over by a car, and you don't even know. All you're doing is thinking, ha ha ha, wasn't that funny? Self-gratifying your need for humor at somebody else's expense. It can be that simple. Not thinking of others, not thinking of the consequences to other people, or not caring about the consequences for other people. The preferring one another is no longer, I'm not going to say in existence. It is there. There are people that do, but it's a rare form. It's rare. How can we be followers of Christ and not think about the other person? It's the whole reason Christ came to this earth, is because he thought of you. He thought of me. He didn't think about himself to the point of death, that he died for us. Purposely. Like a firefighter or a policeman may die for our protection, for our safety, for getting us out of a burning building or whatever it is, or the circumstances that took place that put our lives in danger. The policeman and the fireman, who, by the way, get paid for that, are willing to lay their life down for others in order to help them, but they don't want to. They're not doing it willingly. They're not saying, I'm just going to lay here and die in order for you to live. They're going to do everything they can to live, which is the right thing. They're not Jesus. I don't expect them to do that. But, oh, the noise. But for you to be willing to die for somebody else, that's big. But chances are you're going to try to want to survive. Jesus didn't try to survive. He went to Pilate and said nothing. The only thing he answered was, "Are you a king? You say that I'm a king. But I tell you, my kingdom is not of this earth. Or those under me would come to me. They'd give me aid. They'd fight back. But my kingdom is not this world." I think Romans understood that a little bit more because they had that whole concept of, Greek mythology in their head. What they didn't understand was truth. Because so what is truth? He thought truth was a what? Talked about truth yesterday. Truth is a who, not a what. And that they couldn't understand. Jesus preferred one another. He got down at the Last Supper and washed his disciples' feet like a servant. The greatest among you is the least. The first will be last, and the last will be first. Very much like the parable of the men that were hired to go work in the field or in the vineyard or orchard or whatever it was. I can't think right now. That's all this noise. He hired some in the morning. He hired some, a little before noon. He hired some at noon. He hired some in the afternoon. He hired some in the evening. And when it came, he had them line up. The last ones that came to work got paid first. And the first ones that got paid last. He purposely wanted them to see that they were paid all the same. It got some of them very grumpy. But, hush your mouth. This is what you agreed to. Be on with you. It's my business whether I'm generous or not. They weren't thinking about the agreement. They were thinking about themselves and getting thoughts of, we're going to get paid way better because we've been working all day long. Nope, pays the same. Our desire to have it be about me, my desire to get paid more so I can have more self-gratification, the desire to be first in line all the time. I see that with multiple children. They don't want to line up. They want to be first, no matter what. And they feel entitled to be first. There was a lot of younger people that were complaining about senior citizens and their entitlements to Social Security without knowing the history of Social Security. It's something that was paid into. By most. Until it started to change. Yeah, it started to change. And so some paid into it and some didn't. But they were looking at themselves. I want more in my paycheck. I don't want to have to pay Social Security in order to pay the people that are collecting now because, well, we heard that it's not going to be there when we get older. May or may not. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it is. I'm talking about how people think about themselves. This narcissistic attitude that I'm special. I don't need to have to pay into that. I don't need to follow the rules. I want to be first. I don't want to wait, and if it causes an accident, oh well. I have this need to laugh at anybody's expense. Comedians are known for causing offense. And you usually laugh if you can see it. But if you can't see it, you get offended. You don't have too many comedians around today. Why? Because people get too offended too easily because it's all about them. It's how I feel. How I feel. How do we turn this around? How do we get to that space where people are not so involved about themselves? Why is suicide so high? People are thinking about themselves way too much. Why is the diet industry doing so well? They hit people in their identity. Oh, you don't want to look like that. You want to look like this. And then how would that make you feel? Well, other than feeling healthier if you lost weight, if you lose weight the healthy way and not by every, scam and pill and program and diet that's out there. You have to be okay with your identity on who you are first. But you're not special. You're only special to your mom and dad and your grandma and grandpa and to God. That's who you're special to. Everybody else, you're not so special. I don't care what kind of talent you have, how good you look, how smart you are. We all have things that we go and we do and be, and we may be gifted in those areas. But if you don't learn how to be, if you don't learn how to prefer one another, you could be that spoiled cellist that walks into the room and expects everybody to stand for your presence, for them to move to another table because you want to sit here. We don't need to do that. Because all that does is it exposes your pride and your self. And it gives God no glory. That maybe He gave you the giftings to play that cello better than anybody else. He doesn't hold that gifting because of how you treat it, unless you don't use it. But thinking that you're all that, and a hunk of stinky cheese, just exposes who you are here. And it's ugly. And there will some people will cherish that because they don't know who they are. And there's some people that will be turned off completely by it. And there are some people that even when you act like that, they will prefer you ahead of themselves because they're keeping themselves humble. Because there is no way they want to be like that. They want to be like Jesus. All right, so that is the end of my Feisty Friday. I think I may have offended enough people today. All right. Hi, Nicole. Thank you for watching. When we're done here, well, for now, like, comment here on Facebook. But when it's over, go over to my YouTube channel, Mona E. Harrison. Like, comment, subscribe. I only get 3 minutes until I get 50 subscribers. And since I just started it, I need to get up to 50 subscribers in order to go longer. That started last fall with YouTube. And so, if I would have gotten on there when I was supposed to 9 years ago, I wouldn't have this problem. So, I cannot address the things that I'm addressing in 3 minutes. I would like to get them down to 15 minutes, but I'm not there yet. But if YouTube gave me 15 minutes, I would probably learn really quickly how to get all the information through in 15 minutes. So make sure you subscribe. Hit the notifications, get all the bells and whistles, do all the stuff. And if you like it, share it. You can share my Facebook version, you can share the YouTube version. It's the same one, just one's uploaded later in the evening. And I do a 3 minute, more like a commercial for it. Go ahead and like those. Go ahead and watch them. Watch them on fast speed to get through them, because it will help with the algorithm. If you think the content is worthy enough to share, share it. All right. Blessings, everybody. I will see you on Monday for Memory Monday. And again, Nicole, thank you for watching. And yeah, that's it. Blessings, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.